What up, boo? It's time to get busy. 2024. How did your January go? I know that for a lot of you, it was a bit chaotic. You maybe felt like you weren't accomplishing a lot, maybe that you were spending too much time dealing with things that were occurring on the inside and couldn't get a handle on your business. That's okay, because February is going to pack a punch and we're off to a great start. This month is going to be filled with lots of clarity, lots of opportunities for you to evolve into the business owner that you came to Earth to be. And today I want to talk about something very specific in the strategy realm, in the fundamentals. I literally heard a coach say on a live the other day, and this is a business coach saying this, mind you, to stop focusing on leads and start focusing on the sale. I know what she was trying to say, but I'm going to tell you right now, don't do that, because we continually need to be putting people into our sales funnel. That means putting leads into our sales funnel in order to be able to close clients later. So the more leads that you have, the more opportunity for sales you have down the road. So don't stop focusing on leads. What I will tell you is there's always going to be gaps. We're always going to look at our schedule on Friday after a full week of working and say to ourselves, oh my God, I didn't do that. I didn't pay enough attention to such and such. Know that that is going to be a continual thing. That's why we have organizational tools and we have the ability to bring that stuff we didn't over into this week. So don't beat yourself up if you're reflecting on January, thinking to yourself, I didn't do these things and I told myself I was going to. Feel good about those things that you did accomplish. But really, when we're looking at business ownership, we want a continual revolving door of things that we need to do. So we can work in integrity and bring them through to the next week, but don't let them go a whole month without doing them. Okay? That was my little tangent. Now let's talk about lead generation, because lead generation is the biggest gap that I see struggling entrepreneurs having. So how do you know if you have an effective lead strategy? That's really easy. You take a look at how many leads, new leads you're bringing in monthly. Now, when I'm talking about leads today, and most of the time, I'm talking about warm leads. I'm talking about red hot leads sometimes, but I'm not talking about cold leads. Cold leads are going to be people that enter into your Facebook group and don't give you an email address. You haven't made a connection with them. They are just in the group and you don't know what they're doing. Those are cold leads. We can't really call them warm leads or even hot leads because they're strangers to us. We don't even know if they're watching a lot of the time. So when I speak about leads, I'm talking about people that have actually made the exchange, given you their email address to get your lead generator. They have booked a call with you. They are actively in your sales funnel system. Not that the people in your Facebook group are not valuable. They just haven't gotten to the point where they have become a lead. So when I'm talking about leads, I'm talking about people that have actually done that reciprocity, that energetic exchange. I'll give you my email address and you give me something to learn. And I am going to be addressing so much more into lead generation in an upcoming absolutely free workshop. It's a 2-hour workshop. It's going to be jam-packed. It is an official workshop. Okay? It's not one of those that you show up to and I just go on and on and on about nothing. I'm actually going to make it more like a class. So you're going to have to be brainstorming with yourself, writing stuff down. I want you to leave this workshop knowing that you're creating an effective lead generator, how you're going to get people to sign up for it, and moving forward to creating that success that you want in 2024. We want to make 2024 the best year on record. You have the opportunity to make amazing income, whether it's that 10K month or first 100K. Okay, you have the ability to do that. But the reality is you cannot do that without lead generation, and you need to know a step-by-step proven strategy to do that. The other thing is you can't do it without committing to your future, committing to your business. You have to say you're going to do it and then do it. So if you're coming on and signing up for the free workshop, awesome. But keep that integrity and show up for the call. And if you can't show up for the call, put down when you can watch the replay. Now, I know a lot of my listeners are in Australia and New Zealand. I often get asked if I'm going to host a separate one for them. I'm going to be straight up with you. I have had numerous coaches, and I have one now that is located in Australia. I have had to, in the past, get up at very uncomfortable times to make it live. I remember one coach I used to have to take a nap, and then I would get up at midnight so I could be on the 1 a.m. call. It wasn't 1 a.m. for her, but it was 1 a.m. for me. I was willing to do that because I wanted to be in the energy of that live so I could ask questions in the moment. While this might not be an opportune time, you might want to take into consideration how to make it possible to show up live, because so much happens on a live coaching. But like I said, that's up to you. If you cannot in any way make the call happen, make sure to put down on your schedule when you are going to listen to the replay, because you will have access to this replay for 5 days. Okay, so let's get on with lead generation, because I want to give you some clues and some tips and tools today to really help give you an idea of what it takes to create lead generation. The one thing that you have to have is a lead generator, and this can look so many different ways. And I want to bring in a story that I was thinking about sharing with y'all when I was out on my walk this morning. Any of you ever watch Seinfeld? And George Costanza and his father. If you remember his father, there's an episode on there that his father's saying the whole time was, "That's how they get you." Okay. And he was talking about like going to an Italian restaurant and they fill you up on bread. That's where they get you. Okay. Following. I know you're following. So they give you all this free bread and then you get too full to eat your pasta. That's what George Costanza father was referring to. Well, when I was thinking about this when I was out, he says, "That's how they get you." And I actually thought to myself, that's how they get you in the door. I want you to think about Olive Garden here. They have the all-you-can-eat salad and breadsticks. How many times do you think people base their decision to go to Olive Garden simply upon that? That is a lead generator. Is it free? No, but it is of low cost, high value to the client, to the patron, to the customer. Chips and salsa at a Mexican food restaurant, right? Now, when we're looking as online creators, we are looking at things that are more deliverable. And that can take many forms. I'm not going to go into that here because we're going to be covering that in the workshop. But I really want you to process this. You see an ad on TikTok and you click on the link and it takes you to their website, and immediately there's a pop-up that says, "Get 15% off of your first order when you sign up for our mailing list." That is a lead generator. Is it free? The 15% off is free. It gets people to exchange their email address for that discount. I don't know about you, but I do that stuff all the time. And then if you sign up for the text messages, they give you 20. I do it all the time. And then what do you get? All their emails. They start coming through. They start filling your box. That's called nurturing. Okay, so we want to create something that is incredibly valuable that will give them the incentive to exchange their email address for our freebie. Now, here's the number one thing that you need to understand about a freebie. Our industry has become so lazy when it comes to creating lead generators that people assume they're going to be worthless. And so many times they are. But we're changing that because my listeners are committed to helping people evolve and expand and heal and all those beautiful things, right? You're here to help them transform. And the higher the quality and the transformation that you create for them, the more likely they are to continue coming back time after time and eventually purchasing. So this is something that I always say to my clients. Make your lead generator better than your competitors' paid stuff. I want you to hear this again. I want you to create something that is such great value that it is better than most of your competitors' paid stuff. Now, at first, I know you're thinking, oh my God, how do I do that? Everyone has such amazing paid stuff. But you're going to see such great value and have such a defined outcome that it will be very hard for somebody not to see the results of what you're giving them. Now, the one thing that I'm going to tell you right now. So your prospect has a big problem. They want to make more money in their business, but you can't teach them how to do that in a simple PDF. That's your course. That's working one-on-one with you. You can't supply them with that. But you find one thing, one very narrow problem that they're having, and you give them the complete solution to it. You answer that problem for them. So the more narrow you get and the more specific, the easier it's going to be to create that solution. So an example, I'm hosting the absolutely free. That's a lead generator, right? An absolutely free workshop. It is called How to Get Your First 100 Aligned Leads. Very clear. I'm answering a specific problem, a very narrow problem, and I'm answering it with the complete solution inside that workshop, which is how to create an effective lead generator that people want, that's going to make people want to buy from you. So I'm going to give you some action steps to really sit down and narrow in on this. The first thing is to sit down and determine your top 3 pillars in your methodology. Now, you can have 4, but 5's too many. You can have 2, but really 3 is the sweet spot. What do I mean by pillars? I mean your teaching pillars. An example, my Evolution 10X method that I coach from combines brain science, fundamental business strategies, and cosmic law. Those are my 3 pillars. Let's say you're an intimacy coach. It might be awareness, self-love, and communication. I'm just guessing, right? I'm just throwing stuff out there. So I want you to sit down before this workshop, and I really want you to dive into those 3 main pillars, because underneath those pillars are going to be a plethora of different sub-pillars, and they'll get smaller and smaller and smaller. So an example, one of the pillars in my Evolution 10X method is fundamental business strategies. A sub-pillar of that is lead generation. A sub-pillar of lead generation is creating a lead generator. Now you see it's making sense. That's one way to find a very, very narrow problem and give them a complete solution. And once you realize what the solution is, then you'll be able to determine how it's going to be delivered. So the beautiful thing is, in this workshop, you're going to be getting so much clarity around this lead generator. When we have an effective lead generator, we can put hundreds of people through our sales funnel systems every month. The more leads you have, the more opportunities you have for sales. So without any leads, you can't sell it to anybody. So we really want to fill that pipeline really nicely and keep filling it on a monthly basis. And I know a lot of coaches hate to hear this, but sales is very much a numbers game. So the more leads that you have, the more opportunities for sales, the sales go up. I know you don't want to hear that, but it is true. It is 100% true. Now, the last thing I want to share with you is really important for you to hear. Strategies are what create ease and flow in your business. They take the guesswork out because you know what to implement, when to implement it, and you know to keep your eye out for what the result is going to be. So when you build a lead generator, you know how to build the lead generator, how to deliver it, when to deliver it, and then what to expect, what to watch for. Strategy is so important to your entrepreneurism. And it is the number one thing I see most coaches that are struggling to build their business lacking. They think that they just need to put more effort in. They just need to work harder. But the truth is, putting more effort into a failed strategy that didn't get you what you wanted last year is not going to get you what you want this year. That failed strategy is going to get you the same failed results. And I know that it stinks to hear that. But at the same time, you should be loving this. Because the fact is, if you know that you are not doing the strategy to create the success that you desire, you can learn it. And that's what I coach. I coach the fundamentals. And I'm going to be straight up with you. Fundamentals don't change. You just get better at them. And fundamentals are things like financial forecasting, actually knowing how to prioritize a profit and separate it from your revenue. It's important to understand the whole sales system from beginning to end, not just content creation. And then, of course, the marketing strategy, which you probably already know because 90% of those coaches out there that call themselves business coaches are teaching content creation. I don't teach content creation. I have one strategy that really gets you going into creating momentum behind your lead generators, but it's so saturated out there, and I saw that that wasn't what was lacking in the market. It's actually sales and finance. I'm going to leave you with that homework. Make sure to sit down and pick out 3 pillars within your business methodology. I want you to go deep into one of those sub-pillars. You don't have to do them all if you don't want, but go down into those sub-pillars. So by the time you show up for the workshop, you're going to have an idea of what your lead generator is going to be. And then guess what? Bam, you're going to get massive clarity and excitement, and we're going to get to work because I don't call these a workshop for nothing. Now, go and have a beautiful day and be productive.